Yo, it is another episode of What's Your Business. I'm your host of this fantastic show, Tyrik Wynn. And hey, we have another amazing conversation for you guys today, and I hope you guys will be impacted by this great conversation. On this episode, hey, I'm bringing on my mom. And let me tell you, I have an amazing mom. I have amazing parents. Last episode, you had a chance to hear from dad. This episode, you're going to hear from mom and about what she does. And I'm so excited because mom is actually an associate broker with Northpoint Real Estate right here in Metro Atlanta. And I'm so excited because if you guys don't know, the housing market is off the chain. The housing market, it is booming. Real estate market, it is booming. I'm telling you guys, this is a great industry to be in. And I'm so excited because not only am I going to talk to mom about what she does as an associate broker and a real estate agent, but we're also going to talk about the housing market, the do's and don'ts, when to buy a house, when not to buy a house. How do you know if you're ready to buy a house? We're going to talk about all those great things. Also, having great credit too. Oh yes, we're going to get into having great credit and all of that good stuff. And hey, the great thing about mom, she has over 18 years in the real estate industry. So, hey, we definitely know that she's experienced and she knows exactly what she's talking about. So we're going to hear from her when we come back. You guys stay tuned in. When it comes to business communication services, Minuteman Press McDonough can do it all. With a complete range of products and services at your disposal, they can help you get your message out to customers, employees, and vendors. Using the latest printing and document management technology, they handle your projects from start to finish. Their energetic and experienced staff is dedicated to delivering what you need when you need it. Contact Minuteman Press McDonough today at 770-957-0012. They are located at 571 Jonesboro Road, McDonough, Georgia. Wynn Productions LLC is taking the coronavirus pandemic seriously, and we are following the necessary safety precautions to keep our clients and staff as safe as possible. When we arrive on site to film your video, everyone on our staff will wear a mask, and we will keep them on the entire time. Before we set up the equipment, we sanitize it down to make sure it's clean and germ-free, and we also practice social distancing. Make sure you guys contact Wynn Productions LLC today to hire us to film your next video. We'll do it safely. Have people oohing and ahhing about your video. Contact Wynn Productions LLC today to wow your clients with the perfect drone footage. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm now joined by my mother, Katrina Mathis Wynn, who is an associate broker right here in Metro Atlanta. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, son. Thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Y'all saw Dad on the last show, and here's Mom. And that just goes to show you that I was raised in an entrepreneurial based household.
Definitely, yes. Your father and I, we've been entrepreneurs before you were even born. Your dad, ever since I met him, he's always said, I want to have my own business. I want to have my own business. And in the beginning, I was a corporate person, so I wasn't really into the entrepreneurial thing. I was like, hey, I was always taught and raised to get a nice job that's going to give you a nice pension, nice retirement. But of course, those type of days, those things don't really happen now. So, throughout the years, your dad, he taught me more and more about entrepreneurship, and I realized how great it is. So that is what helped me build up to want to be an entrepreneur and be in the real estate industry.
I love it. I love the story, and I'm glad that you guys were entrepreneurs before I was born, because it's in my blood now. So.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
Yeah, this is what the Wynns do. You can't wait around for opportunities. You have to go out and make your own.
You definitely do. You have to create your own opportunities. With real estate, as far as for me, I actually started around 22. Your dad and I, we got married. I was 21. Around the age of 22 is when we bought our first home, and that was our actual personal home. And once we bought that home, we always used to read different books about real estate and how to invest in real estate. So maybe about 2-3 years later, right before you were born, we actually bought our first investment property. Because we always knew that real estate was a way to grow wealth. Even now, when I read or even hear about different multi-millionaires or billionaires, they always say have 7 streams of income. And real estate is always one of those streams of income. So, that is one of the reasons why we always knew real estate would be a great investment. Even when the markets, sometimes markets are up, sometimes market is down. But real estate, people are always going to need a place to live. So, hey. Real estate investment is a great thing to do.
Yeah, and real estate is one of those careers where they can't find a way to, I guess, technologize it or, eliminate, job. Well, it's not a job, it's a career, but, eliminate it as a job or it's one of those things gonna stick around for a lifetime, because everybody needs a house, everybody needs somewhere to stay. And you said y'all got into real estate at 22, right?
Yeah, I was 22.
Okay, so what was that, like years and years ago?
Don't do that. I was very, very young. Of course, the first home, we didn't know a lot. We relied on someone else, to kind of help us, guide us through it. So, of course, we didn't get the best deal at the time. But now, throughout the years, we've learned more and more. We've grown more. So we know a lot more now than we did back then. The thing is with real estate, especially with me, since I'm a real estate agent, associate broker, because I do have my broker's license. That's why a lot of times you need someone like a real estate agent, real estate broker to guide you through the process, because you want to know what the right thing to do versus the not so right thing to do, so that you'll get the best deal. We as real estate agents and real estate brokers, especially someone who's been doing it a while, we can guide you through that process, because it may look simple, but it's really not. It's a lot of paperwork that goes through, a lot of legal things, that you have to look out for. So we are there to help guide you through that, and it's not just us, it's also loan officers, the mortgage brokers, because as real estate agents, I can help you find the home, but you also, before I do that, you need to talk to a loan officer, because they are the ones that actually are going to pre-approve you for a home and get you qualified to make sure that you can purchase a home.
You got to make sure that credit right.
Yes, so it's a lot of steps with buying a home. So that's why you need to sit down with a professional that can guide you through the steps, because a lot of people, they just think, oh, I make this much money a year, I know I can afford a home. Well, it's a lot more that goes into it than just your income. They look at your credit score, and they look at what they call your debt to income ratio, because you may make $100,000 a year, but if you're in a ton of debt and a lot of money is going out of your household every month, then you may not even qualify for a loan. Wow. Because they look at so much. So, just things like that for us to tell you and guide you through. That's a lot of things to know before you actually start going out and just visiting these different subdivisions and going to different homes and basically wasting your time, because you go look and then you finally talk to a loan officer to try to get the loan and find out you can't qualify. So,
that's crazy. It's crazy how this whole thing works. And before we get, because I want to go very deep into it, because I want to make sure that everybody understands and everybody gets it. But this show, our audience is pretty much everybody, aspiring entrepreneurs, young, old, whatever the case may be. So first, before we dive deep into it, for the younger people out there, people who probably don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Tell everybody, what is real estate to what is real estate to begin with?
Okay, well, real estate is actually property, whether it's land or whether it's an actual home. It can be residential, it can be commercial. So you have different aspects of real estate. And you may have some people who invest in real estate, and then some people just want to purchase for themselves, which, you know, you purchase your personal home for yourself or an investment property for yourself. Real estate in general is a great way to, a lot of times, to build wealth. A lot of people have become millionaires with real estate because they learned the game of real estate, whether, you know, purchasing from their first home and then buying investment properties, and then they have tenants who pay them every month for their house. Or on the commercial side, whether they buy a building and rent that building out, whether it's sections of the building or the whole building itself, or whether you buy real estate and then resell it for a higher price. So it's different ways to invest or to actually hold real estate. Like I said, you have residential and you have commercial. So for me, I'm a real estate agent. So what I do, I actually help home buyers, whether they're first-time home buyers, whether they're investors, whether they're looking for their retirement home, second home. I help them find a home. I don't do the residential side of it. I'm not a commercial agent, so I don't specialize in that, but I can actually definitely refer you to one. If you're looking for your first home, a lot of times I tell people the first step is to make sure you have your credit good. You know, you have to make sure that your credit is right, because that is going to determine if you even qualify for a loan. And if you do qualify, it's going to determine if you're going to have a great interest rate, and that means you'll have a good payment. But if you have, you know, your credit is not that great, you may qualify, but your interest rate will probably be higher, and now your payment is going to be higher, or you may have to put more money down. So it's a lot with real estate, but hey, as a real estate agent, that's what I'm here for, to guide you through the process and to help you, you know, navigate through it.
Nice, okay. But if they do want commercial, they can still contact you so you can give recommendations, right?
Yes, because I do know a lot of different commercial agents, so I could definitely refer you to one. So that would definitely not be a problem. But of course, if you're looking for a home, whether you're a first-time buyer, you're a second-time buyer, investor, definitely give me a call. I can definitely help you with that, because I've been in the business over 18 years.
Wow. Qualified.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many agents out there, especially here, like everybody's trying to move here. And I keep telling everybody, okay, we're full.
I know.
The traffic is crazy. That's why I want to ask you. So as a real estate agent, how do you feel about that saying? You know, some people say, stop moving to Atlanta, we're full, but at the same time, you want people to move here, so you know that's the business.
No, let them come. Let them come. Yeah, definitely. You know, that's the thing. That's why. But you see so much building going on. Like if you go through different parts of the city, like downtown, even suburbs, you see so many new subdivisions popping up, so many new high rises, because so many people are attracted to Atlanta and what we have to offer here, because, you know, we're basically now considered like the Hollywood of the South, because we have
Hollywood.
Yeah. We have so many productions going on here. We have these great studios, you know, like Tyler Perry Studios and other studios here that film major productions. So a lot of people who are in that industry have moved here. And then you have a lot of businesses, like a lot of corporations that are moving here. I think right now I just read something about Microsoft is actually building something near the downtown area. So, you know, you have a lot of corporations that are moving to the area. So that means more jobs and more people who are actually gonna come and live here in the Atlanta area.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, I mean, hey, I love this city. And back to what you were saying earlier, you were talking about some people want houses in different states. I know for a fact that I'm going to be one of those people, especially with the career that I'm in now. I want a house here in Atlanta. I want one in LA. I want one in New York. So I'm definitely gonna have to make sure I plan everything out and get everything situated.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. And a lot of times too, even though I'm licensed here in Georgia, so I can only sell your property here in Georgia. But if you wanted to move to another state or purchase a home in another state, I can refer you to another agent. I may know an agent in LA or in New York. So it's a lot of times it's good to get a referral when you're thinking about moving out of state.
Okay, nice. I love it. So tell me, let's say because I do have, a lot of my friends are obviously college students because I'm in college. So for the college students who are watching right now, as soon as we graduate, some of us are gonna want to go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead and get a house. Whatever the case may be, or some may want to go get an apartment, condo, whatever the case may be. So how is it for young people like myself? When I graduate, I already know I'm going to want a house. I got expensive tastes. I know,
Yes.
Hey, if I can get my $1 million house as soon as college over, hey, let's go ahead and do it.
Okay.
But what advice do you have for the people who are getting ready to leave the nest?
Well, definitely I would tell you while you're at the nest at your parents' home or wherever you are, save your money.
Okay.
That's one thing, because once you make that step to purchase a home, you do want to have kind of a nest egg set up just in case anything happens, because hey, I got my degree, I got this great new job, but we don't know if something happens to that job and you purchased a home or anything, that now you need something to fall back on just in case. So I would definitely say save your money, make sure that your credit is good. So while you're in college, don't sign up for all these credit cards because I know that they send you offers all the time.
I get them in the mail all day.
Yes,
every
you
day.
do. It's okay to have a credit card. Actually, it's good because it helps build your credit. But when you get it, make sure that you do pay it on time. You don't run it all the way up to the limit. So if your limit is $1,000, you don't need to put $1,000 on it. Usually I would tell everybody, try to keep any of your credit cards under 30%.
Okay.
So because that does affect your credit. And credit is going to be the number one thing with getting a loan. I know people, they make a lot of money, but their credit is not where it needs to be, so they still don't qualify for a loan.
Wow.
So unless you're going to pay cash for a house, then you need to make sure you have good credit and have your credit in a place where you can qualify for a loan.
Gotcha.
So that's definitely one. Make sure you have stable employment because, of course, when you're first graduating, and some of you may already be in the field or have a job. Some people may get a job while they're in college, and once they get the degree, they may be able to move up in that company or whatever, but you're going to have some type of steady employment showing, a lot of times that is the qualification for getting the loan. So those are some things, make sure your credit is good, save up while you're still at the nest. So you have that nest egg for you. And I know you said like you would want to buy, hey, $1 million property.
Hey, that's just me.
I know, that's you.
Hey, that's
but
me.
Your first home does not always have to be that dream home. I tell people this all the time because people are like, oh, I want this. But you're young. You got a lot of time. When my first home, it was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home built in the 1960s. It was an all brick ranch.
And I was with Dad, right?
Yeah, that was your dad and I. That was our first home. Of course, it wasn't it wasn't our dream home, but hey, it was our first home. And it was something that helped us build equity, and it helped us for the next house that we purchased. So that's the thing. You don't always have to just go out and buy that dream home in your first purchase, because you can always sell it or keep it and rent it out, because that's what we did. We kept it, we rented it out, and then we moved to another home a few years later.
Okay, nice. I love it. So I have to ask you, because kind of two and two together. So you're also a real estate agent,
Yes.
but you also have a book on marriage as well and relationships and stuff. Make sure your love is bigger than your wedding. So I want to ask you, okay, so there's a lot of different scenarios, right? So let's say, I'm in a relationship with somebody, and let's say, we've been together a while, and we're just getting out. This is just like a random scenario. We're just getting out of college. We're not yet married. We know we might want to get married. Like, do we need to be moving in together? How does this thing need to work? Like, what is the advice on people who are married moving in together, who aren't married moving in together? I mean, what happens?
Well, okay, of course, most likely if you're married, you're gonna move in together. Now, as far as just moving in together versus purchasing a house together, there's two, both of those are big things. Because I've seen where people who were not married purchased a house together and then it didn't work out and it was a mess. Because now you got a property that now, you gotta deal with versus if you were leasing an apartment with them and hey, we can break the lease, that's still gonna affect your credit, but not as bad as if you have a mortgage and you break up. Now you got a mortgage on your credit that hey, somebody's not doing their part. So every situation is different. Of course, for me personally, I just think people shouldn't live together until they get married. I mean, I know it's old-fashioned, but that's just me.
I think that's great. I 100% believe in that.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad. One thing, because I think once you are married, well, before you get married, and that's the thing, you should always be on the same page and be on the same accord when it comes to finances, when it comes to a lot of different things that you need to be on one accord about in a relationship. So I think when you get married, once you are married, I think you have probably more of a stable relationship. So when you do move in together, you won't have such big issues, even though people still do have issues, because a lot of times people get married that shouldn't be married. So, but in my opinion, like I said, hey, I just think, when it's time to move in and all of that, those things are just such big decisions. People just think about, that's just like a roommate. But there's a lot of roommates. Watch court shows, there's a lot of roommates taking each other to court all the time. So it is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It is. So you definitely want to make sure that you're making the right decision. And hey, before you make the big purchase of a house, pray about it first. See if this is even the right decision you should be making, because like me, I'm over here joking and say, okay, as soon as I graduate, $1 million house, let's go ahead and do it. But I mean, God may not want me to do that. He may want me to have a little starter home first, then we're gonna build up to the $1 million house.
Yeah.
So. And speaking of $1 million house, for my big timers out there, for the people who, let's say, maybe there's not a house out there that I like. What if I just want to build my house from the ground up? I want a pool outside. I want my jacuzzi. I want my bowling alley. My big timers out there who want to build the house from the ground up. What advice do you have for them, or who do they need to talk to?
Well, it's a lot of different aspects to that when you're custom building a home. First, you got to find the land for it. Then you got to make sure that land is zoned correctly, that you can do that. A lot goes into building a custom home. Now you got to make sure, okay, is electrical already ran in this area? Is gas lines, all types, cable lines now with the fiber, AT&T fiber optic lines and all of that. So it's a lot that goes into it when you're trying to build from the ground up, unless it's some subdivisions actually where they sell you lots of land, a lot in the subdivision, and you can custom build your house. So there are areas that you can actually do that. So they've already did the groundwork as far as laying out those things. But if you just find a plot of land in the middle of nowhere, now you gotta worry about all of those issues. So that's gonna cost you a lot more money in the long run. You definitely wanna have your architect and a builder that knows what they're doing. The builder who can get you the general contractor to make sure you have the right permits. It is a lot when you go into it. That's why I think more people just go into actual subdivision or purchase a house that's already built. But of course, if you have the money to do that, then hey, go ahead. That would, if you can afford to do it, do it. But You know, if you just want, it's so many nice, beautiful homes that you can go into a subdivision and purchase. You know, may not have a bowling alley, but then it is, I've seen some actually, you know, resales that do have bowling alleys. So, you know, hey, you just got to see what's out there on the market. But, you know, you just, like I say, it's going to cost you more probably in the long run. When you want to try to custom build something of that nature. But of course, when you want things like bowling alleys and, you know, the custom pools and everything in the back.
See, that's what I want.
Yeah. So you already know you're going to be spending a lot of money anyway. So.
Hey, I'm saving for it. You know, bowling alley, dance floor, all that good stuff.
Gosh.
I have house parties, everybody coming over and stuff. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I'm glad you said that because, you know, I didn't even think about that. I thought, you know, at first, you know, my non-real estate mind, I was just thinking, okay, I'm going to just go find my land, tell such and such, go over there and start building, pay them or whatever, and, you know, call it a day. But it's a lot more to that. So I'm glad you explained that to us. So I really do appreciate that.
Definitely.
Now, back to the credit. People have to make sure they have good credit. They have to build good credit. Do you have any advice on credit, period?
Okay. Now, the one thing I always tell anyone, know where you are with your credit. And right now, in this day and time, there's so many different websites that you can actually go and they'll pull your credit for you. And then you can look at all 3 credit bureaus because there are 3. A lot of people only know about maybe 1 or 2, but it's actually 3 credit bureaus. You have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. When you go to purchase a house, they look at all 3 of those. And what they usually do is take what they call your middle credit score. So they take away the highest credit score, the lowest credit score, and they're going to look at the middle credit score to determine what type of loan you qualify for.
Okay, got it.
So definitely your credit, like I said, know where your credit is, look at your credit report, and once you see it, and if you see something that you know is not yours, then try to take care of it, try to dispute it, but pay your bills on time. That is the number one thing. Pay your bills on time, especially credit cards. Anything that reports to the credit bureau, you need to pay it on time. And if, like I said before, with credit cards, make sure you don't have it up to the limit. Try to keep it under 30%. When you keep it under 30%, that reflects good on your credit. But if you're always to the max or close to the max, then that's going to reflect negative on your credit report. So definitely those are some quick tips. And don't apply for a whole lot of credit. Yeah. You're going to get credit card offers all the time. I get them all the time. I don't have a lot of credit cards. You probably maybe need no more than 3.
Yeah.
4 at the max, but I mean,
I just got 1. So.
Yeah, you don't need all of those credit cards because the more open credit you have too, that affects your credit score. So,
wow. Yeah, that's some good credit advice.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I love it. So I have to ask you, so you're in the real estate industry, you're in real estate. I've had the chance, when I was a lot younger, I've had the chance to go out with you to some houses. We took pictures of houses, go with you after school and stuff. I need to know, because, you know, of course, this show is all about, of course, we're talking about business, we're all serious stuff, but of course, we got to laugh a little bit. Yeah. So I need to know the funny stories, the experiences. Have you ran into any squatters? I mean, like, we want to know. Tell us a story.
Oh, wow. I have a few because a few years ago when it was a high foreclosure market, I was one of the foreclosure agents for the bank. So I've seen a lot. Like you said, well, I've been in houses and squatters were in the home. I've basically, caught people in there sleeping, Crazy. Basically I've torn the house up. I went into one house, they had took everything, including the kitchen sink. Yes. So, a funny story though. Oh gosh. I don't really have any really funny ones, just a lot of ones you're like, really? Like, they really did that? But just being in real estate, it's just, with clients too, you run into a lot of funny clients. Because I've had people, one story I had when I worked at a subdivision for a builder, and this one guy, he came in, he was with his, he said it was his girlfriend, and she was the one who had got pre-approved. And I was, asking him what they were looking for in a home. And he was like, what's the one with the biggest square foot? And I told him.
They always be asking.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. I said, well, the biggest one is like 3,500. Oh, I need something a little bigger because I want to get something bigger than Larry. And I'm like, who is Larry? like, oh, like, who is Larry?
Keep it up with the Johnsons. That's what that is.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Oh, the Joneses.
Yes. So I was like, well, what does Larry have? Oh, Larry house is about 4,000 square feet. And I said, okay, well, let me show you, the home. So I showed it to him. Oh, yeah, Larry, his entrance ain't like this. So this will be a little better than Larry's. And I'm like, oh, gosh. So I stopped talking to him, and I actually talked to his girlfriend. And I asked her, I said, what do you want? Because obviously, he's trying to compete with Larry, but he's not the one pre-approved. You are. So let's just see what you want. But, needless to say, he didn't want to live over there because it wasn't bigger than Larry's. So that's another thing I tell people. Stop trying to compete with what somebody else has in their home. Get what is best for you. And I tell people, just because a house is 4,000 or 5,000 square feet, that doesn't mean it's a great house. Because the square footage, if it's not used correctly, then it's just a waste of square footage. Because I've been in houses where they were huge, but then it's like, okay, but this room, the master should have been like the grand room, but it's not. They made all this extra space in other areas that really didn't need it, or maybe have a small kitchen, and then other parts of the house are huge. And it's like, why would you put all the square footage over here instead of the kitchen? Because a kitchen, master bedroom, and the master bath is what really sells a house most of the time, because that's what we look for, especially women.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Hey, stop trying to keep up with Larry now.
Yeah, basically.
Look, hey, Larry ain't paying your mortgage. So.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, Larry and them ain't paying your mortgage. The Joneses ain't paying your mortgage. Mm-hmm. So, hey, like you said, you got to get what's best for you at the end of the day. So,
you do.
Yeah, that's some really good final advice. I'm glad you're able to leave. So, before we close it out, go ahead and give some more advice to aspiring agents out there. What do they need to do? I know there's a test. I know there's a class. I don't really know too much about it. Okay. But what do they need to do? What steps do they need to take?
Okay. Well, in Georgia, if you're at least the age of 18 and you have a high school diploma or GED.
Oh, I qualify. Okay.
Yes. You can sign up to take real estate classes. There's different places that offer the real estate course. You have to take the course, pass a school test, then you have to take the state test. So once you take both of those tests, then you will have your license, but you have to place your license at a brokerage. So that means like different real estate companies that you may have seen all over the place. Basically, you would need to sit down and talk to a broker and say, hey, I'm a new agent. I want to work with your company. Because the broker who holds your license is basically the person that's kind of responsible for you. So those are the steps with that. And then, of course, you got to build up your clientele, because with real estate, most agents, there are a few that may be able to get some type of salary, but for the most part, you're going to be commission only. So you don't get paid till you sell a house. So you're definitely going to want to work on and have a plan in place of how you're going to market yourself and get clients and continue to get new clientele. Referrals and family members and friends, they're great, but don't always rely on them, because a lot of times they may not use you. I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, don't rely on them.
So those are some tips as far as that. Make sure that if real estate is something that you want to do, you got to put the time and effort into it. It's a lot of different things with it. Like I said, you got to decide. You want to do residential, you want to do commercial. You want to work with buyers, or you want to work with home sellers. You can do both as far as home buyers and home sellers, but you need to know the ins and outs on each side of it.
Wow. Okay, nice. I love it. And I really appreciate you taking time to join us on the show. Give us some insight about real estate and tell everybody a little bit about what they need to know. You gave us advice on real estate. You gave us advice on marriage and buying a house together, and also, you know, having good credit and stuff. And this is stuff. And even if you're not having a house, you need good credit. You need to, you know, even if you're not in the mood to, I mean, not in the mood, but even if you're not in
the market,
in the market to buy a house or something like that, you still want to have good credit and all these things. And of course, so I really appreciate you taking time to share that advice with us, and also the advice about aspiring agents out there who are looking to do it. And so, you know, I know I've actually kind of looked into it a little bit myself. I just, for me, I feel like I need to, if I decide to go into it, I feel like I need to graduate first. That way class can be over and I can focus on real estate class and stuff like that. So I need to, one step at a time, because I got all the Wynn, I got Wynn Productions, I got all this other stuff. So I gotta, you know.
You got a lot going on. So yeah, you need to be focused on it, because it's not as easy as it looks, especially when it comes to those tests, because I know a lot of people had to take the test twice. So.
Yeah, yeah, them tasks. Yeah, and I really, once again, I appreciate you coming on the show. So go ahead and tell everybody how they can contact you. People looking for a house, hey, looking to move here to Atlanta, out of state, people who are looking to buy a house in state, how can they contact you?
Okay. Well, you can always give me a call. My number is 770-639-5459. I work for Northpoint Asset Management. That is the brokerage that holds my license. And you can also reach out to me on Facebook at Katrina Wynn.
Okay, nice. Love it. So yes, guys, make sure you reach out to Mom for your next house. Yes, I know that once I graduate and I'm ready to be in my good house, I will be contacting her. So
be better.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey guys, I hope you guys had a chance to, you know, learn about Miss Katrina, about real estate and stuff like that. And I also hope you guys had a chance to learn about life in general, having good credit and all these other great things. So thank you so much once again for taking time to come on the show. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to close it out. See you then. When it comes to business communication services, Minuteman Press McDonough can do it all. With a complete range of products and services at your disposal, they can help you get your message out to customers, employees, and vendors. Using the latest printing and document management technology, they handle your projects from start to finish. Their energetic and experienced staff is dedicated to delivering what you need when you need it. Contact Minuteman Press McDonough today at 770-957-0012. They are located at 571 Jonesboro Road, McDonough, Georgia. Wynn Productions LLC is taking the coronavirus pandemic seriously, and we are following the necessary safety precautions to keep our clients and staff as safe as possible. When we arrive on site to film your video, everyone on our staff will wear a mask, and we will keep them on the entire time. Before we set up the equipment, we sanitize it down to make sure it's clean and germ-free, and we also practice social distancing. Make sure you guys contact Wynn Productions LLC today to hire us to film your next video. We'll do it safely. Have people oohing and ahhing about your video. Contact Wynn Productions LLC today to wow your clients with the perfect drone footage. Oh my goodness. Talk about an amazing conversation. Dude, I mean, how can you not have been inspired to go out and buy a home right now? I mean, my mom Katrina Mathis Wynn came on the show, talked about the real estate market. She talked about buying a house. She talked about having great credit. And she talked about buying a house right here in Metro Atlanta. So I know, the conversation everybody's been posting about it is, hey, we're full and we don't want no people to come here to Atlanta because the traffic is ridiculous. But hey, Atlanta is the place to live, the new Hollywood of the South. You definitely want to be here because Atlanta is booming. So I encourage you guys, when you guys decide to relocate to the Atlanta area, make sure you contact my mom because, hey, she knows what she's doing, over 18 years in the game. So I can tell you, you will not be sorry if you use Katrina Mathis Wynn as your real estate agent and associate broker. Thank you, Mom, so much for coming on the show. And actually, guys, I'm a little sad because this is actually the last episode you will see me hosting. I say that, hosting. This is the last episode you will see me hosting the show. And I'm just going to leave you guys with that because next episode, the season finale episode of What's Your Business, you're in for a real treat. So I'm going to just leave it out there and let you guys find out what you're going to see on the next episode of What's Your Business. I'll see you guys next season.